Hi Floss Tube, it's Diane. Maybe just a shade. Okay. Thought I'd do a update video. Today is September 17th, 2018, and I have a little bit of everything. Life update, my daughter had her 4th chemo this last Thursday, the 13th, I think it was. Yeah, 13th. And kind of getting a routine on those. She has a PET scan on the 24th, next Monday, to see, the goal is to see if the tumor, because they're gonna, it's also thundering here, so you might hear some thunder. They're gonna do an IV of sugar solution and then give her some time to have her body absorb it. And then the PET scan will show where the sugar is being used the most, and it should show that the brain and the kidneys are the two areas of your body that use sugar the most. Your brain uses sugar and the kidneys are filtering it. This type of tumor also uses sugar, and last PET scan it was the same colors, bright yellow as the brain. The goal, even if the tumor itself hasn't shrunk, that the color, you kind of think of a weatherman, how he shows where the severe weather is or how much rain, different colors. A PET scan does similar things depending on what is in your IV. It'll show different colors. Well, the sugar shows up yellow. And the tumor uses a lot of sugar, and it was the same color as the brain, yellow-wise, last time. And our goal, even if the tumor itself hasn't shrunk, because there's a lot of scar tissue involved, the color will be less. It won't be as an intense yellow. Hoping it's the same color, because you could see other organs and stuff on the CAT scan. Because other organs use a little bit of sugar, but it's how much they're using as how intense the color. And if I remember right, the lungs were kind of this Pepto-Bismol muted gray pinkish color. It was kind of ugly color. Puce would probably describe it well. I should have pulled a DMC color to compare it to, but I'm hoping that that's what the tumor, the color it will be, because that indicates that the treatment is working and it's killing the tumor because it's less active. And then because it's her lymph nodes and some of them are enlarged and there's a lot of scar tissue, at some point they're going to have to remove it. I don't. Next Thursday, the 27th, she'll have another chemo, and we'll actually talk with her oncologist. She's had her partner's visit with my daughter on her treatments to this point. So we will talk to her, and we're going to ask, is there surgery in the future? We're just kind of, both my daughter and I are planners, and we just kind of want to think ahead a little bit. But she has chemotherapy scheduled through Thanksgiving, and I have no idea how many more cycles. That was her second cycle. Cycle is 2 treatments, and that was treatment number 4. And I don't know how many cycles she's going to have altogether. But the oncologist said radiation will be involved at some point. So that's where that is. She's very strong. It just amazes me how she's going through this. She did lose her hair, which was hard, but we've kind of figured out what she can eat and not eat, and what causes more of the nausea, what to avoid. She knows she needs to keep eating, so when she's hungry, she's boosting up the protein, and they did blood work, and her white cell count was low again, very normal. That's expected with chemotherapy, because you're just kind of suppressing the immune system to a point. Her hemoglobin was good, her protein was good, her kidney function, I don't know how they monitor that in your blood work, but all of those were good. Her hemoglobin was a little lower, but I know for myself, I've never been one of those people that has really high hemoglobin anyway. I guess the normal is somewhere between 12 and 18 for women. I've never been above like 14 at the highest for me, so maybe she takes after me, and she was a little lower. She was like 11.8, so she wasn't super low. But, yeah. So it gets, and then when they were, she has a port, and when they were done, they were, putting, everything off for all the paraphernalia. They ran into a little bit of an issue. It's very common when you have a port involved, but they were able to handle it, and it was done. And we were able to leave. The 24th is also when my Marine gets his ears rechecked to see if he can move on in his training. He thinks he should be able to. He really wants some forward momentum. But, yeah, that's where we're at. And we will be having a grad party for our graduate from May, because in May I was not physically able to do an open house and stuff, and my husband wasn't either, but now we are. And the biggest news, I guess, we put in our paver patio. I laid every single one of those bricks, thank you very much. And I will put pictures, I don't know if I'll put them here or I'll put them at the end. And when you're looking at the pictures, I kind of like to know the general direction of things, kind of which way is north type of thing. When you're looking at the picture, the fence will be the west side. That's our neighbor's fence. And we have to figure out something there so the fence doesn't come on our property. That's about all we have to do, and then just kind of fill in around. The fire pit is on the southeast corner. So just give you some orientation in case you're one of those people. And one thing I have to do before winter sets in is we're going to put a cover on top of the fire pit just to protect it from the elements a little bit. We did give it a test run, and it worked great. So it's been, yesterday it was 95, I think. My husband and one of my sons had a shooting contest thing, and they were just so hot. I'm like, I know, it's September. It should be cooler. So it's Minnesota weather. I put each one of those bricks in. Okay. Put in 174 of the main bricks. And the next day, I was so sore, but I wasn't sore on my back or my shoulders that I expected, because I was very careful, lift with your legs, lift with your knees type of thing. I told my husband, I said, oh man, I was sore from, my tush, where your bone connects to your pelvis, your thigh bone, your femur connects to your pelvis. That's the area I was sore, all the way down to my knees on the back side. And I told my husband, I said, why? I didn't fall. Well, one time I kind of sort of, I just kind of sat down. It wasn't a fall. And I said, why am I so sore there? And he said, well, because you were squatting. So I did it right, so I didn't hurt my back. Each one of those bricks, 174 of them, 46 pounds a piece. That's why. So I was 46 pounds, and I put every brick, and then the brick on the fire pit, there's two kinds of brick in there. There's a bigger one and then a smaller one, so we can get the right dimensions, so we didn't have to cut any bricks. The bigger was 30 pounds, and the smaller was about 19 pounds. We needed 10 of the smaller and 55 of the bigger. I lifted every one of those too. Not that day. We only put the bottom little loop in on that first day, and then we finished it off the second day. But that's why I was so sore. And I told my husband, I said, people pay somebody to go to a gym to do squats with 46 pounds, and they pay to feel like this? Are you nuts? But it's done, and it looks great. And we're, again, have to fill in, put some grass around, and then on that west side, because of how the hill is, we have to do something so it doesn't move this way. And we'll probably put something in there temporary for the winter, and then figure out next year, okay, how do we really want to finish it so it looks nice. But I will put pictures in. Yep, that was a good project. It's done. And in time for our sons, we're doing kind of a taco bar bonfire party thing. And I don't know who's going to show up, but hey, whoever doesn't show up will have tacos forever for leftovers, but that's okay. That's okay. So yeah, I did that. So then what's the next home improvement project? Because I did the wood wall, that's done. I have to go through with wood fill to fill in some of the nail holes, and there's some spots that need some wood fill, but other than that, it's done. We put new caulk around the front door because it was just, the contractor, he did a horrible job. It looks much better now. I painted the doors, did the paver patio. Yeah, trying to figure out what else. I mean, I'm going to be doing stuff all winter now that I know how to use a nail gun, and I like using big boy toys. Oh, and then I drove a dingo. I was going to show you a picture of a dingo. A dingo is, we all think of a bobcat, you know, with the big scoop. A dingo, if you've ever seen a riding lawnmower where the guy, whoever's operating it, is standing on a platform, a dingo's kind of like that. It kind of looks like a mini tank with the tracks. It has a scoop, and then you're standing on a platform, and then you're controlling it with two different controllers. And I drove that. That was pretty fun. That was really fun. Saved our backs on moving a lot of that gravel. Anyway, thought I would show some previous finishes. These are not FFOs, but they're previous things I have stitched. And these are all lavender and lace patterns. So probably my oldest finish that is not fully finished of lavender and lace is this one. And do I have the date on here? I'm seeing if I put my initials in here when I had this done. I'm one who kind of hides my initials. This is Angel of Spring. Yep, this is on Twilight Blue linen, the called for linen, because that's all that was available. I did this in the 90s, but I can't find my initials on it to tell you exactly when. Probably 96, probably around there. This is when I was pretty much a monogamous stitcher at the time. So that's one. Here's another one. Celtic Christmas or Celtic Noel. And this one, I do have the date on here. Oh wait, 2008. And I ran out of these green beads, like right at this last thing. So my husband had to go to Stitchville and get them for me. But she is stitched on, I'm going to say 32 count Lugana. Antique white, I'm guessing. It's definitely even weave and 32 count, but yep. All her prettiness. I need to fully finish these, obviously, but I only, 12 things in the fire at a time. This is Celtic Autumn. I finished this in 06. And again, she stitched as charted. And this is linen. It's 32 count. It's not Zweigart. Is it? Do I have the selvage? It is Zweigart. So of the 4 I have fully stitched, of the 5 Celtic ladies, I have fully stitched 4 of them. I do have Christmas Winter started. I haven't made progress on her lately. And I bartered Celtic Spring for framing on another piece with someone who I know appreciates it, and he does an awesome job framing. It was so worth it because I will stitch that one again. And this one is Dancing Roses, Dance of the Roses. This one has no beads. It has no Krennic. But it does have Splendor Silk in her face and her hand. And this is 32 count. It's an even weave, and I'm pretty sure it's mushroom is the color. I don't have a label on it anymore. It's Zweigart. But yeah. Okay, just to let you know, I have stitching over 20 years, and I didn't understand what this orange thread in my thing was until I started watching Flosstube. So that's what it means. It's by Zweigart. So those are some of my lavender and lace finishes. They're ones that are not fully finished. So, but since last time I did a full video, I finished this piece, Yellow Submarine, Blackbird design. And it is on mix. I did a little 10-minute video that I told you what I used because I didn't use the original colors. So if you want to know exactly what I used, you can watch that little, I don't know, it's a 10-minute video. I did that before I put the colors away, which was smart of me to do. Oh, sorry, the kids are listening to something. I thought it was somebody crying. I also have another finish to show. And it is Farmhouse Christmas number 8, Farm Folk. This one didn't take too long to stitch. I did start it at one of my daughter's chemos. Because you're sitting there for like 5 hours or 4 hours, depending on what happens. So only one more. I haven't seen a preview of what the next one's supposed to look like yet. I'm sure that Diane will post it pretty soon. And then it'll be done. Let me show you my stash. I don't have much. I said when I did my Mirabilia, I said I ordered March and August. This is my oldest daughter's birthstone, and neither one of us like the wand. So when I stitch it, I have to figure out what to do with the wand. We like the other parts. My daughter really likes the headdress and the wings. Neither one of us likes the wand. So that one's, I'm looking ahead to 2019, kind of what new starts I'd want to do, and kind of gathering materials, that kind of thing. And August is on that list. I would order the July amethyst, because I have 3 daughters. But there's an issue. First of all, July's birthstone is ruby, and Nora gets asked this question all the time. There was some kind of mix-up when she turned it in. There was some kind of mix-up, so it was supposed to be, I think it was supposed to be February amethyst, because my middle daughter's birthday is February, my youngest daughter's birthday is July. So I'm not sure if Nora's going to come out with another July one. I don't know. And my birthday is July. And then I got this, and my mom gifted me a subscription, and this came. There's some really cute ones in here this year. The finishing is much better than it's been. Some years the finishing looks like it was done by a 2-year-old. I hate to say that, but I mean, the pieces are cute, but the finishing, I don't know. This year the finishing looks good, in my opinion. And I love this one here, the red barn. My grandpa had a barn like that on his ranch. And I love these two right here. So yeah, I'll probably stitch a few of these. Maybe not this year. I want to go through my collection of these magazines and just do a bunch of them because they're cute and they tend to stitch it pretty quickly. And even though a lot of them do call for the special colors, you don't have to do them that way. And like this one, I don't have to do the stand of the cello, and it would look like a violin because I played the violin for a number of years. That's my haul. I haven't received my Fabric of the Month from Fabrilicious, but I think she was delayed because of the hurricane. But I've been doing some FFO stuff. And, well, let me show you the first one I did. This one I'm not 100% sold on. I don't know. And also, this is an out-of-print pattern, and no, I'm not going to sell it to you because last time I showed this, it was the weirdest conversation, and I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not selling it. Unless your name is Katrina M., contact me. Email's below. we'll talk. This one, A Stitch in Time, it's a Patricia Ann Designs. And there are 45 different stitches in here. None of them are the basic cross or back stitch. The line you see, or maybe you don't see it. The line you see here, this chronic line, that's actually a running stitch. It's not a back stitch. And I'm trying to have this so you can all see it. I'm not quite satisfied with this. First of all, I have to repin the lights up here. This is a shadow box that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. The fabric is 28 count stone. It's an even weave by Fabric Flair. And I used number 12 pearl cotton, number 8 pearl cotton. I can't remember the number of the Krennic, I'm sorry. There's purple and green silk. Those are Moselle silk. I don't remember the colors. And then, let me turn the light off. Maybe it'll show up a little better. There are Mill Hill beads here. Those are 2022. I don't know why that sticks in my head, but it does. I'm not 100% happy. First of all, it's not straight. And I fiddled and fiddled and fiddled and fiddled, and you get to that point, it's like, you know what, just put it in, it's done. So I need to I don't know, do something about it. Part of it is I did a padded finish. I don't know why I did a padded finish. But I don't want to lace this thing again. I've already laced it twice because I had it all laced. And I tried to put it in here and realized I had cut the foam core too big. So I had to unlace it all. But there are 45 different stitches in there. Let me turn it this way so you can kind of see it better. The lights. These lights are designed to be in a container so they don't emit a lot of heat. That is why I'm okay with them being near my stitching. And notice they're not right near my stitching, not right next to it. But I can have this on for a little while and it doesn't get super hot like a Christmas light would. So these lights are designed to not get too hot. It needs something, and I'm not sure what. These sides are kind of a velveteen, kind of foamy stuff, so you can pin stuff in. But this needs something else, right? Kind of, I don't know, in here. I don't want to block the stitching either, so I don't know. I'm going to fiddle with it more. It's not quite where I want it to be, but that was finish number 1. FFO number 1. FFO number 2. Judge Not by Plum Street Samplers. I did not stitch the words because I was trying to make it, judge not, we're just sheep or something like that. And then I thought, no, I just won't do the words. And this sheep here is backwards because there's no way you're having 16 sheep all face the same direction. I have 14 children, family pictures, enough said. So I turned them around. I gave them a little bobtail and then filled in. And if I assigned one of these for my family, here's my Marine, and here's me, because I'm always checking, counting heads. But the tray. I got this tray at Hobby Lobby in their unfinished wood section. These handles come off really, these handles right here, sorry, come off really easy, so I unscrewed them, spray painted red 3 or 4 coats, spray painted a clear coat on it, put the handles back on. Now I didn't want the stitching laying all the way down here, so I took some foam core strips and I glued them here on all 4 sides, and then I glued the stitch piece on the edge to those foam core strips. So this is, I'm crediting Kitten Stitcher for helping me with this, although she didn't know that. And this fence I found in the floral section at Hobby Lobby. They had this size and they had a size bigger. And when I stretched this, because I knew I was having the fence, this is not exactly in the center of the foam core. There's more distance from the bottom of the stitching to the bottom of the piece than there is the top, because I wanted you to kind of look over the fence but still see all the sheep. I hope that makes sense. And then I have a hanger on the back. Just a moment. If this hanger doesn't work, then I will put little eyelets and mirror wire in. I've already thought of that, and I'm going to just write on the back here information about the design. But there's that one. And I shared it on Instagram. And this of my finishes so far. I have 4 more things I have ready to assemble. Well, 4.5. Because I'm working on one that's taking me a little more thought process on it. This is probably my favorite of these 3. This is Sampler House 3 Plum Street Samplers. This is definitely due to Kitten Stitcher, because the drawer. I couldn't find a drawer to fit my piece in. This is from the unfinished wood section of Hobby Lobby also. It's some kind of plaque. You're supposed to actually use this side, but I said no. I wanted this. I wanted this little bit recessed. And so I took the hanger off that was down in here, and that's what I threw on that other one. And because it wasn't a drawer, I found this handle at Hobby Lobby. It was on sale. I don't know if this was on sale, but this was on sale. So I figured out where the handle needed to go, and I drilled pilot holes for the screws, because the screws actually didn't come with the handle. I had to go to Hardware Hank and find those, but they match perfectly. I think they look good. And then I spray painted it 3 or 4 coats of glossy black, and I did spray paint it 1-2 coats of clear. And then here, the feet, right here, these are what they call ball knobs, and they're kind of like a wooden bead, except they're flat. Go this way, Diane. They're flat on one end, so I thought they'd be perfect for feet. This is easier. Trying to do this backwards is not as easy as you think it would be. And yeah, I've got some of the hot glue spider webs going on. But I spray painted those, and I glued it together. And again, I didn't want the stitching all the way down, so I did strips of foam core all the way around, and then glued the stitching to along the edge. And then I had plenty of this left, and I thought, well, that looks cute with the sheep all lined up there. That looks cute. The fabric. Oh, I'm sorry. The fabric on this one. This is the called for fabric, which is R&R Star Hollow, I think. I did not use all the called for colors. I just pulled from my own overdyes, and I do not remember what I used where. Sorry. Ooh. And that I can't find my tacky glue because I just hot glued the fence on, and it's not staying. I need to tacky glue some of it. But I can't remember where I put my tacky glue. Same thing here. I had enough of this fence left over. I hot glued it. I need to go back and tacky glue just under some of these pickets so it stays. But this fabric is 36 count weathered shingle by R&R Reproductions. I didn't use all the called for colors. The reds I used, there's 2 reds I used the called for, the gold, and there's hickory sticks up here somewhere. Otherwise I just pulled from my own stash, and I think it looks great. But yeah, this is probably my favorite finish. Now I am kind of concerned that when I set it, it's a little front heavy. If that's the case, I'll go to my hardware store and I'll get like a washer, a heavy washer, or they have these braces that are just a line. They're not an L or anything. And so they'll add a little weight back here, and I'll glue those on or screw those on, depending on what I need to do. Just to give it more weight in the back if needed. I don't know if it's going to be needed or not, but I like how this turned out. If I didn't do this, I had thought of putting like little brass corners on, just to give it a little of that I don't know, vintage kind of look. But this is my favorite finish, FFO, that I've done in this batch. And the other ones, I'm at the point of stretching them. And then the main project that I have been working on is this one, Iris Nora Corbett. I am not stitching the wings Because this piece, it reminds me kind of the golden age of Hollywood, going to the Oscars, Liz Taylor, and you know, that kind of look to it. This is on Fiberlicious 32 count Belfast in Marvelous. And here is where I'm at. When I showed it in my Nora Corbett video where I was showing my collection, I only had like 30 stitches up here, so I've added a lot. She's the one that's been calling to me the most. And again, I'm not doing the wings, but the wings, there's parts of the wing that are just backstitched. They're not even stitched. And on this color fabric, I would probably have to fill it in, otherwise it'd drive me nuts. But those are what I've been stitching on the most, the iris and the farmhouse, and I finished the submarine. So, yeah, I'll wrap this up, and I will talk to you all later. I thank those of you who've sent my daughter cards and tea. It's so nice. I'm like, you don't know these people, but I do. It's nice to see her smile. I thank you for your continued prayers and good thoughts about her cancer. And, yeah, I've been dealing with a lot of stress on that. But we're going forward. But I thank you all for watching, subscribing, thumbs up, good comments on my Mirabilia Nora Corbett video. And I counted my current my Mirabilia whips. Okay, my Nora whips, I have 5, including Iris. Or 4. Maybe just 4, including Iris. My Mirabilia whips, I thought I only had 10. No, I have 17. So yeah, but that's okay. It's all fun. But I hope you have a good day, and if you're not affected by the hurricane, and as we go into winter here in the States, that you're doing what needs to be done to do that. And love to you all. I will talk to you later. Bye. Hi, Floss Tube. I forgot to show a couple things. No, I don't need those right now. No, leave them down. Cottage Garden 3 French hens. Stitching on 36 count flax. And I started on one of the hens. So not very far. I'm doing it all in DMC. Calls for 1 specialty fiber for the white. No, I'll just use DMC. And then I received Cottage Garden Songbirds number 3. This is the one I think I'm going to start. And I'm going to use some of the overdyes. Not all of them. And then I went to my mailbox, and Fabric of the Month from Fiberlicious. This is my jam. 36 count. Yeah, I figure out what I'm going to stitch on that. I won't stitch Halloween, otherwise it'd probably be good for Halloween, but I'll find something. One of the pixies, probably. Again, if you are interested in sending my daughter an encouragement card, contact me below, and I'll let you know where to send the card. But I thank you for watching and subscribing, and I'll talk to you later.